It's crazy to think that there are well-known celebrities who go through issues just like us regular people. Today we're listing the top 10 celebrities who got evicted from their mansions. Starting off with number 10, Tyga. Now, this may come as a surprise to some, but the hip-hop mogul has faced quite a bit of financial issues within his career. When all we see is fast cars and all that ice celebrities rock, it can catch some off guard to find out that not everything we see is the total truth. Back in 2016, the rapper had been evicted from his home in the Hollywood Hills. Tyga also secretly filed for bankruptcy in 2010 after failing to pay his rent on time, racking up a total of $70,000 in back rent, with $17K each month. While drowning in massive debt, we found out that the rapper only had less than $50,000 to his name and couldn't afford to pay the debt he owed to creditors. The landlord also sued Tyga for possession in the home he was renting, and because Tyga never showed up to court, the landlord made an easy $88,000. Tyga has had multiple lawsuits against him filed by landlords due to him allegedly failing to pay rent or not moving out when they demanded him to leave. I feel like for the most part, a lot of the news I've been hearing on Tyga is just some wild stuff. Like, remember when he was dating Kylie Jenner back when she was 17, a minor? He was 26 at the time, so naturally he was criticized a lot. They initially met when she was only 14, so for the most part, the public frowned on the relationship. They broke up on his 26th birthday, and that same month, Kylie and Travis Scott sparked their own relationship. And then a year later, they welcomed their first baby, little Stormy, who is literally so cute. What's Tyga up to now? He's a Grammy nominee for his hits including Taste and Juicy. Venturing outside of music, the rapper is also breaking into the food delivery market with his latest project, Tyga Bites. Let's hope they taste good. See what I did there? Moving on to number 9, Soulja Boy. Back in 2011, the Crank That rapper was arrested. On top of all that, his younger brother was part of a tragic car accident, and he was caught lying about owning a private jet. He was later hit with an eviction notice for failure to fill his monthly payments of $4,000 at his Atlanta pad. When it rains, it pours, right? The rapper faced eviction from his LA home too after allegedly not paying his rent. TMZ found a letter with the building's landlords issuing a complaint about the noise disturbances and guests wandering the property, which was a direct violation of the lease agreement. After renting his Hollywood Hills home, he started falling behind on rent just 3 months in and allegedly dodged the landlord when he would ask him about the rent money. I get it, with money comes this feeling of power and you just can't help but not care about rules, but wouldn't you want to be a little more cautious when it comes to a house you're living in? The then 26-year-old was also arrested for a suspected probation violation. Soulja Boy was just out here acting reckless. Soulja Boy couldn't tell him off when thieves came in and stole $10,000 worth of cash and another $12,000 in jewelry from his home. The Crank That hitmaker made an announcement earlier this year that he'll be leaving the hip-hop scene to exclusively focus on acting. Are you excited to see this side of Soulja Boy? Let me know in the comments below. I've seen a few clips of him acting, and honestly it seems like he can have a promising career in the industry, so good for him. On Twitter, there was a whole period of time where he was making sure the people knew how many times he was the first ever to do anything. And honestly, good for him for breaking so many personal records. As someone who dominated the early 2000s with his sound and fashion, it is cool to see him continuing to grow. In number 7, former Nickelodeon favorite Amanda Bynes. Beginning her career as a child actor and after making her breakthrough in The Amanda Show, her life has been a bumpy ride. Back in 2012, Bynes was having some regular encounters with the police. 10 days after her substance-related arrest, she was evicted from her New York City apartment. In 2013, as most child stars, Bynes seemed to have been going through something bad. With complaints of her constantly smoking in a non-smoking building, the building's management had no choice but to threaten to evict her. So she packed her bags and found a hotel room for temporary stay while she was finding another spot. Her parents moved into a room near her too because they were worried about her. At least she had people around her who care about her, or else things could have been much worse. Bynes also made a slew of headlines back in 2012 when she was involved in 2 hit-and-run and 2 charges of driving with a suspended license, plus a DUI charge in addition to her public antics during her time in New York City. Back in 2020, she posted a sonogram indicating she was expecting her first child with her fiance, but it was later confirmed to be untrue, leaving people confused. But fast forward to today, Amanda's currently pursuing a bachelor's degree at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. Good for her. She's also admitted to being 4 years sober in 2018. Sometimes rock bottom is the lowest you can get before you eventually find a way to lift yourself up again. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kim Zolciak was allegedly facing eviction from the mansion she was sharing with NFL husband Kroy Biermann if they failed to pay around $12,000 in back taxes within weeks. This was right after they took out a $300 loan to complete renovations. Those rentals might need to wait if you want to live in the house long enough to see them through. The 5-bedroom and 6.5 bath is named the Zolciak Manor, which they went straight to renovating back in 2012. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star has not held back from showing the beautiful Atlanta property on the gram with images of the backyard, her bathroom, as well as her baby son's room, which featured lavish furnishings, hand-painted walls, and ceiling. Kim says she would love to make a return for season 15 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're going to be tuning into the new season, let me know who you're most excited to see. On to number 6, former Grey's Anatomy star Isaiah Washington allegedly owed his landlord $100,000 in rent back in 2009. After not paying for 5 months, the landlord started an eviction process to kick them out. Falling behind in rent is crazy enough if you're a star on one of the biggest shows on daytime television. But for almost half a year, at that point, you're asking for it. So some more tea on Isaiah. The star was fired off Grey's Anatomy after referring to co-star Tiara Knight by slurs. Yikes, not cool at all, Dr. Burke. That's not even all though. He was written off P-Valley after saying something about Vice President Kamala Harris. Seems like karma and came and bit him where the sun don't shine, because getting fired more than once and then getting kicked out, we can only hope he's learned from his mistakes. Grey's Anatomy has been known for having a lot of on-set beef, and it's ironic that the long-running drama did have behind-the-screen drama too. The medical drama was notorious for reports of tension between its cast. Also, speaking of Grey's, I can't believe the show has been running for 19 seasons. And sorry if I'm spoiling this for any new watchers, but Meredith leaving the show is actually crazy. If you've been keeping up with the series, let me know in the comments below how you feel about it. Back to Washington. In 2020, the actor hosted a food show called Isaiah Washington Kitchen Talk, which involves him traveling to Cali Coast to eat, drink, and hang out with various guests. That actually sounds really fun. Washington has also done quite a bit on the film side too, including documentaries and the God's Not Dead franchise. 6th on the list, Miss Courtney Love. The American singer was to face eviction after some destructive behavior within her $27,000 a month Manhattan townhouse. The owner of the property claimed she violated the lease by changing the interior, owes $54,000 in rent, and, oh yeah, set the apartment on fire, which may have started by curtains catching on fire from a candle. The damages could cost up to $100,000 to fix. Well guys, a lesson in this is to never leave any open fire unattended because it could all come burning down. 5th on the list, Lauryn Hill. The 8 times Grammy winner is facing eviction from her New Jersey mansion after she decided to stop paying rent. What is with all these celebrities thinking they can live in their houses rent-free? Like, did they really think they weren't gonna face any consequences? The singer was also facing tax fraud charges back in 2012 after pleading guilty to 3 counts of tax fraud. She admitted to intentionally avoiding filing tax returns from 2005 to 2007, and allegedly earned $1.6 million over that time. That's just another level of not caring, and honestly, I gotta admire how she got away with it for that long, before ultimately having to go to prison for the charges against her. Anyway, speaking of Miss Hill, I would love for her to drop some more music. We've waited too long. The mother of 6 has said she will continue to write and perform at her own pace, but has made it very clear that she will always put family first. Over the years, she's maintained homes in Florida and the Caribbean, and has also kept close ties to her childhood home. Counting down, 4th on the list, we have Columbus Short. The former Scandal actor has been part of some scandals of his own. Within the span of 1 year, he has faced separate felony charges, lost his wife who filed a restraining order against him, and to top it all off, he was facing eviction from his LA home. Seems like his bad year kept getting worse. After only falling behind on rent for 1 month, the landlord gave Short 5 days to pack his bags. Even though he did leave before getting evicted, the landlord doesn't recall if the controversial actor paid his outstanding bill, totaling up to $7,000. Seems like Columbus fell short when it came to paying his bills. But the way his record is, it seems like karma did a number on him too. 2nd on the top 10, Mary J. Blige. The R&B singer who is having some financial struggles was hit with 2 lawsuits from banks about loans worth up to $2.5 million. Her charity is also under investigation for theft or donated funds. Miss Blige was also facing eviction from her luxury New York apartment building, where units rent for $10,000 and higher per month. Reports say she hadn't paid her rent for 1 year. In 2018, a landlord claimed that Mary didn't pay $60,000 in rent and also ruined the mansion she was living in. But the case was brought to court after Blige filed paperwork denying the claims. Blige called it BS by saying she paid the landlord what she owed before leaving. With 14 studio albums, Mary says she has plans to do another movie after her Oscar-nominated Mudbound and Respect. With a handful of festival dates scheduled, she's booked and busy, and we are here for it. Last but not least, the #1 spot on the countdown, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now, it's not at all what you think. Unlike the trend of the other celebrities on the list, they did not piss off any landlords. In fact, they were only kicked out of their $150,000 a month Holmby Hills rental because the landlord sold it. Since the couple was not interested in matching the buyer's bid for Blue's childhood home, they were given 60 days to move out. Bey and Jay first started keeping their roots in LA back in September 2014, making the rental their house in between tours. The 7-bedroom mansion is known to be the 10th most expensive house on the market in LA. Now, we all have wondered what this extremely private couple's lifestyle is like, and don't worry, I got you with the deets of this super luxurious mansion. It featured an infinity pool, wine cellar, catering kitchen, 75-foot-long gallery for art, 2 libraries, a theater, and a tennis court, to name a few perks. If I was gonna rent this house, I would definitely be bouncing around the art gallery and personal theater. Beyonce is currently working on the visuals for her 7th studio album, Renaissance, which, by the way, is one of my favorite albums of the year. And if you've listened to it, comment down your favorite track. Set to tour next year, I'm most definitely gonna be one of the millions of fans waiting for the tickets to drop. I need to see Queen Bee live. So I guess for the most part, the real lesson here is, doesn't matter how rich and famous you are, financial irresponsibility is as common among celebrities as it is among us regular people. Who would have thought? Your status really can't save you in real life issues. That is all for today's top 10. Let me know which celebrities you were the most surprised to find out have been kicked out. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time on The Rich Life.